there's something else that's eating or knowing as in GNAWING, knowing on my intestines apart from the hunger. And I'm not sure how long this will take, but well, I can just continue later if I didn't get to the point where I feel like it's done. There's something else that's gnawing on my intestines. It's about compensations at work. Because I have had this incident where one of my colleagues, I ran into her in one of the metro stations in here, and so we had small talk, like how normal people do, and we got to that bit where she asked me what's my hourly rate. So I told her, and then when I was asking her, she's a bit hesitant to say, so she went somewhere else in the conversation. But then I'm a bit stubborn when I ask something, so I asked it again in some other parts, and then she said it, and it's bigger than mine. And to think that we have entered the company at the same time, and I have more previous experience than her in this. So now it's been gnawing on my intestines. I didn't tell her how I feel, of course. I didn't tell her. I'm not into this gossip things, because that's also another thing that has occurred within that place, the place where I am currently hired. There has been a lot of gossip in the past. I have heard from people even if I'm not asking. Yeah, I get updated by people when I see them in the metro or work with them. I get updated, but I'm usually just listening, but I remember everything though. I don't respond, but I remember things. And also, I don't say how I feel as well, because I don't think it matters. I'm not the one involved. It doesn't, like, I will just add up to the mess if I put in my it's gossip. So but I do have feelings. I have feel and I am entertained whenever they share things to me. I'm very well entertained. And I'm glad they still share things to me even if I don't participate, because I see it as it's as if I'm reading comics. But now we have a situation. And I have spoken to my supervisor about it. I have opened up this because to her, of course, I can tell her how I feel because she's the supervisor and she's the right person to speak to these things about. So that person, I talk to her. And Well, to say the least, I got explanations instead of compensations. And because I have also had previous conversations and discussions with other people apart from her in the past, because there are things also that have happened that needed some kind of action, or else it will not get solved. I think I lost my train of thought here. But the bit about the explanation instead of compensation, I noticed that it's not just her who does this. Since I have had previous in discussions and things, I noticed this. It's like explain, circle, but nothing gets solved. But to be fair, in the past there are things that got solved. But there were also things that I noticed this pattern. That, yeah, to be fair to her and to the others, there were matters that moved and got out of the way and got solved. There, I said it. There are matters that got solved. But then there are lingering things that required action, and it's still not solved. And I kept coming back to this. Asking for updates and things. But well, Dominic, why didn't you just quit? Well, I have my reasons why I didn't. But also now I notice this, since I actually sneakily use it as a training ground for the future, because I'm not confrontational by nature. That's, I guess, another thing that Western people like about Filipinos, because we're not confrontational by nature. We just say, we are so submissive. We are submissive as a culture. Is it consequence of colonization? Maybe. Or, yeah, it's just, we're so submissive and we just, yes sir, yes ma'am, yes sir, yes sir, yes ma'am. Yeah, we just allow people to walk over us and things. That's why we are the perfect employee. But then at some point I'm like, well, I'm not just an employee, I'm also Dominic, and I have to protect the Dominic within, or else it's gonna happen. So I trained myself to speak, and even if I'm shaking, I was shaking a lot of the times that these discussions or confrontations, or, well, you can call it many other names, but I guess you know what I mean. I was shaking, my throat was closing up, my hands were like this visibly, and I feel like my chest has a million spiders inside. But I guess I still did what I had to do. And now I am preparing for a boss battle. Not battle, but like boss meet up to be continued.